SWBA students will be able to solve multi-step equations 2.5. Okay, so let's go to section 2.5 here.
No.
Okay. Some examples, okay? So we're going to start with multi-steps. What's this mean? It just means it has more steps than a two-step, okay? We're working on having more steps than a two-step usually, okay? 5d plus 7 minus 3d equals 8. 5d plus 7 minus 3d equals 8, okay? First step here. It might look a little bit different than what we did before. Anyone have an idea of what we might do first? Levi.
It's still reverse pendulum.
Okay, it's still going to kind of be reverse pendulum. We got to do something before that. We got to do one thing before we do the reverse pendulum SATMAT. Yes. Combine like terms. Because right now, do we see 5d and negative 3d on the same side of the equal sign? Yeah, so we can combine those. What do those become? I heard it. 2d.
I don't like this.
Plus 7 equals 8, okay? So what's the only thing that's changed so far?
Now they're combined.
They're combined. We combine those d's. We combine like terms. Now, does this look like a two-step equation like we just did?
Yeah.
I would say so, okay? Serenity, what would be the first step here? Boom, subtract 7 on the money. 2d is equal to 1, okay? How do we finish this one off, Hannah? Divide by 2. And d ends up being what?
2.
Nope.
1.
1 over 2. Open your eyes.
I opened them.
Okay.
What?
Okay, I get it now.
You don't like this guy.
It's just the same thing.
That was easier than the other one.
So, Cheyenne, I feel like that's because we missed the last video.
Yeah.
Okay? Hey, so actually for you and Dalton both, please go on Google Classroom, watch that video. That's going to help this make a lot more sense too.
Isn't it on your
Usually-
YouTube channel too?
It's on my YouTube channel, yes. I think it's Google Classroom through there. What?
How many subscribers you got?
Not many.
I
But it's
never
growing.
Take my
Dude, I have like
sign at my house.
5 subscribers.
I'll subscribe
My
on
mom
time.
won't let her backpacks or anything come into the house.
Wait, you're back.
You do your homework in the car.
So you can watch
No,
it on
I
your
sit in
you can
the
watch it on your phone
garage.
too. Yeah, you can go on Google Classroom on your phone and watch it on there too if you want.
Okay, can I do it right now?
Okay.
I'll
Very
tell my
fast.
TikTok
Okay.
followers to follow you on YouTube.
Okay, cool.
40,000.
And I
Yes,
tell
I'll get like 40,000 more subscribers. I'll go viral. Okay, cool. Hey,
Uh,
number 2. 3/4 x plus 1 minus 1/2 x equals 2. Whoa, we have fractions. Oh, I hate fractions.
I actually hate
Yeah.
fractions like with the
What
math.
half and 3/4?
Not quite. Half and 3/4 cannot combine and turn into a whole. But you're on the right track that we do need to combine those. Why do we need to combine those?
Because they both have x's.
They both have x's in them, okay? So, what's going to be our common denominator? 4. Is this already a 4? Is this already a 4? No, how do we get there?
Add. Multiply 2.
Multiply by 2. And what do we do at the top?
Same thing.
Same thing, okay? So 3/4 x plus 1 minus 2 over 4 x equals 2.
Okay.
Like, I'm a robot.
Yeah, you do
It's
whatever
a
else.
song.
It's TikTok.
Gross.
You're gross. I don't like your YouTube. You gross.
You haven't even seen my YouTube
I
yet.
don't care. I don't
That's what I thought.
I like YouTube. I watch
You do
I
drug
used to-
videos?
Does it help?
Hey,
Yes.
Dope.
Very
I
good.
used to make YouTube videos when I was like 10, and
Yeah, that's
I
about right.
put my chicken on a golf cart and was riding it around.
So hey Levi, you watched one of the videos? When did you do that?
The other day.
The other day? Were you gone that day?
No.
You
You just
didn't
wanted
spend
to
your time,
watch.
right?
I just wanted to watch it because I asked questions.
Did that help?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Hey, so that's a great tool to be able to help you guys while you're at home or while you're away. Because I'm not in your house, that'd be weird and creepy, okay? But you can access my YouTube videos from there.
It wouldn't be creepy if we invited you. It'd be creepy if you just randomly showed up.
It would be, right?
I wouldn't
Okay.
care to help you on that.
Okay, so now 3/4 x minus 2/4 x, okay? What's 3 minus 2? 1. So we have 1/4 x plus 1 is equal to 2. See how we combined that like terms? That was still our first step. It was our first step over here, number 1, combining like terms. It's our first step here, number 2. We just had to get common denominators to do it. It's still all part of combining like terms. Now, is this a lot like one of the equations we just had earlier today?
Yes.
I think so. Okay, so what do we do here? Presley, what would you do? I agree. Boom. 1/4 x is equal to 1. Okay? How do we get rid of the 1/4 that's multiplying with x? Multiply by the, go ahead and say it. Reciprocal. What is the reciprocal of 1/4? 4/1. And what do we do to the right side then? The same thing.
You're so excited.
Okay? Yes. So what happens with this 4 and this 4? Ooh,
Cross
let's try-
reduce.
Cross reduce. I don't like the word cancel,
I thought you
okay?
said watch the news.
Mathematically.
Oh.
Mathematically incorrect, inaccurate. I love it, okay? Well, x equals what? What's going to be 1/1 times 4/1?
4.
Just 4. Boom, we got our answer. Isn't that Liddy?
Why?
8, no.
Okay?
Wait, stop this.
Yes, Ray, what's up?
What if you just fell right now?
I mean, that would be such
It was
a
like
ball.
a half foot. Oh, darn. Okay?
You're like, where's the tip river? Hold on, just keep holding on.
Oh, I did. See?
No, don't let go.
I did.
No, like, stop being yourself.
Okay, let's go on. Okay, let's go ahead and flip the page.
He wants you to leave your foot on there so you hit your head on the door.
Yeah, I know, rude.
I didn't say that.
Okay? You want to get
You're
cussed and
right.
just have a stuff the whole time? Cool, okay?
Ew,
Hey,
I know.
examples. 4 times the quantity of 2x plus 1 minus 5x equals 10, okay? So we have to use the distributed property, okay? So our first step is going to be distributing here, okay? What are we going to distribute to what? 4 to 2x and 1, but not to the negative 5x, right?
No,
Why not?
because it's
Not
not
parentheses.
Not enough parentheses. Very good, okay? 4 times 2x is 8x. 4 times 1 is 4, okay? And this negative 5x is just chilling like a villain over there, okay? Now all equals that 10 on the right side of the equation. Combine like terms. Now, this is just like one of our first two problems. I'm actually going to ask you guys to finish this one off, okay?
Okay.
And when you're done, or have questions, we're going to ask those questions.
I swear you got more energy since you
What is chilling like
That
a
color
villain
red is
mean?
It's just staying there.
No, you're supposed to be
Jack, can you help me? Because I have no idea what I'm doing.
Gladly.
You just want to say.
Okay.
That was
So we
easy.
gotta combine like terms.
Easy.
Wait, is that a
Negative 5. I got it. Maybe we'll get. Yeah, not touching my weed.
Okay, see you were done. You want to help me check?
I'm done.
Dope.
I'm done.
Okay. You want to help me check?
Yeah.
Alright, let's go. Dope. Okay. Hey, raise your hand when you're done or have questions, okay?
Right.
Bradley, how are you today?
I'm alright.
You're alright? Living life. Live, laugh, love, right?
I'm really trying to think.
Hey, would you be at some point able to do those cameras? Okay, now that's me now. Just at some point in the next
Hey,
couple
Jack,
of years.
come here.
Is this thing?
Right. Oh my gosh, look at his name on bad jokes.
Does this thing work?
Mr. Costa, you didn't say a meme yet today.
Wait, you get checked?
What?
You haven't said a meme yet today.
A meme yet?
Yeah.
We just said it.
No,
You say you usually say a meme every day.
Yeah, you
I'm kidding.
Yeah. No, it's like I will head out. I will head out.
I head out.
Yeah, the SpongeBob meme.
There's a lot.
SpongeBob.
There's a lot of different types of those.
He left me
I
on
love
the
SpongeBob memes.
Oh my gosh, I think about SpongeBob all the time.
I don't doubt that. Okay, hey, let's talk about this one up here. From here, 8x and negative 5x combined to be what, Matthew?
Sorry.
Do that again, it was funny.
What did we get? 3x, and we saw this plus 4 is equal to 10. Okay, from here, what's our next step, Dalton?
The minus 4
Boom! I like it. 3x is equal to 6. Okay, so now, what do we have to do here, Maddox? Divide by 3, and we get x equal what? 2. Hey, if we wanted to, could we go back and check our answer and make sure we did this right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do we know how to do that?
Yeah.
I hope so. Let's walk through it just in case, okay? 4 times 2 times 2 in place of the x. Okay, half 2, 2. Okay, minus 5 times 2 is equal to 10. Okay, I'm just going to plug it back in. I'm not asking you to do this with me. Let's watch the game, okay? So I just plugged in the 2 for both of the x's here, okay? So now, walk through this. Inside the parentheses, 2 times 2 is 4. So 4 times 4 plus 1 minus 5 times 2 is 10 equals 10, okay? 4 plus 1 is what number?
4 plus 1.
5. Boom. Thank you, Serenity. 4 times 5 is 20. Hey, does 20 minus 10 equal 10?
No.
I think so.
Wait.
Whoa,
Wait,
that was
what-
cool.
what does
You should go run a mile.
Four do?
What did this 4 do?
the-
Where did it come from?
Yeah, what did you do with it?
I added it with 1 to get 5.
Okay.
Inside the parentheses. I know, I went through that pretty quick.
Yeah.
That's it. We call it, some of you guys saw this called photo problem. It gets smaller. I think it's pretty neat. Okay. Any questions on that one? Gucci game. Okay. I love this about algebra because you can check right away whether or not you got it right. I think that's awesome. That's not good, but hi, Spirit of Mr. Consul. Nice to meet you. Okay.
You're scary. Oh. No, he's just energetic.
Okay. Hey, on number 2,
Scary.
do we still have the distributive property?
Yeah.
Yeah. How many times are we going to distribute?
2.
2 times, 1 for each parenthesis, okay? I want you guys to go ahead and start the distributive property.
Oh,
go ahead and
no.
distribute, okay? And hey, actually go ahead and finish, go ahead and solve this one. See if you solve this one all the way. Once you're done,
I got
or have questions, raise your hand.
Um,
Let's try that.
Thank you.
Everybody check.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, whoa. Oh, good catch, okay? Anyway, okay.
I think I'm right, Ray.
Well,
Check.
if you don't.
Yes. Of course, man.
Aha, gotta be careful.
I already checked.
Wait.
So we did the distributive, right? So what are we gonna do here?
Okay. Yeah, you don't need to.
Let's start with that.
Is this right?
And
What?
then now, we have to do it again here. So let's do that. So it's negative 2 times x. And then negative 2 times negative 1.
Okay.
Now, let's combine negatives. So now we're going to do that, okay?
This should be positive.
I got you. I got you. No, come on, wait.
Wait, Russell, I gotta put a fraction in
Three
Are
eggs.
these also combined? Mr. Crosso, what's your YouTube channel? Is that right?
I think it's something known as
This is a positive.
I like how you're sitting with that.
None of our receivers have names.
And then combine.
None of our receivers have.
No, but if I were to
It's
be on
not
a
under
Minecraft server,
Microsoft
have
Office.
one picture wall, see there's no square.
Right here.
Yes.
Mr. Crosso, right?
How can I find
Huh? I can't find it.
And he's like 4'5".
Well, let's get these going here.
Oh, it's. Oh, it auto-corrected.
Well, Owen is the guy.
I used to have a teacher called Mr. Clapper. And then my brother
Mr. Clapper would get so mad if you clap.
I know, I was just gonna say my brother did that one time. Dude, I loved him. When I was on my
I didn't have him.
I was on my behavior
Hey, I
sheet in
found
fifth
it.
grade.
You have 14
And so he
subscribers.
would just give me
So
candy and I was
it's
so
like-
good.
Boom.
Oh, I wish you would get the end time I saw him.
Okay, guys, let's talk about this one up here.
Jared just watching me on Clay.
Yes. Okay. 3 times x is. 3 times 5 is. Almost said it.
15.
15. Okay. Here we got to be careful with this negative. Here's what I do when we're distributing with a negative there, okay? I think this helps us keep track of the signs, okay? Don't put it away now. Okay? So I change this to a positive, and what do I have to do to this 2? Change it to a negative. We can add the opposite. Now, it's going to be easier for me to remember, negative 2 times x is negative 2x. Negative 2 times negative 1 is a positive 2, okay? Oftentimes, we get caught, and we can call this just a negative 2 because we forget to carry the negative into both, okay? So one thing I do to help me is I go ahead and I change this subtraction to a negative, to addition, excuse me, and I change this positive to a negative to make sure I'm getting the right sign. Does that make sense at all?
No.
Okay. So whenever we have
Wait, there's already a negative there, so why would you cross it out and put it back?
because what can often happen, just to show you as an extra example, if we were to do this, we can often say, oh, this is a negative 2x, but we'll often end up calling this a negative 2, because we say, oh, we already used the negative. It doesn't always happen for people, but it's a common mistake I see. And so, what I do to counteract the mistake is I go ahead and just change this to a plus sign and do that to a minus sign there, a negative sign there. Because it's the same thing to add the negative version of a number. So if you're not making a mistake yet, if you're still getting this right as plus 2 every time, that's fine, you don't have to do it this way. I do it because I think it is beneficial to reduce mistakes. Does that make more sense, Danny? Okay, we can talk about it more afterwards. Okay, so now we look to combine like terms. Okay, Cheyenne, what are some like terms we can combine here?
3x and 2x.
Yeah, 3x and then negative 2x, and what do those become? Just x, right? Okay. And then, hey, what are other like terms we can combine here in Ectaria?
You can combine the 15
And those become?
and 17.
Very good. And that equals 7, okay? So now, hey, we only have one step left, and what's that going to be here, Dylan?
That step is to minus 17 from 7.
Very good, okay? And hey, they're different signs. We're going to subtract. 17 minus 7 is what number?
Negative
10,
10.
but it's a negative 10. Very good catch there, okay? Because this 17 is bigger than 7, so we go with that sign, okay? Remember, same sign, add, and keep. Different sign, subtract. Keep the sign, and keep
It's same signs add, different subtract, same signs, keep the signs, different the larger. Look up MC songs here.
Yes, because you guys have a different jingle. Okay, continuing on. Okay. Solving multi-step equations with fractions! Woo! Okay. What's that big old note say at the top? Or right
Clear the
before?
fractions before you
Clear the fractions.
Well, clear the fractions
Wait, so we
before
can
you
just
begin.
cross them out.
No. We're going to learn what to do, okay? We're going to multiply every part of the equation, once again, every part of the equation, by the least common multiple of the denominators, okay? So, over here, we have denominators. We have denominators as 3, 6, and 9, okay? We're not talking about how fine someone is, though, okay? We're just talking about the numbers 3, 6, and 9, okay? That's a pretty good joke if you understand that reference.
Nope.
Just saying, okay? Anyway, Riley might appreciate that one. But anyway,
What?
I was saying, we're talking about the denominators 3, 6, and 9, but we're not talking about how fine somebody is. Okay? I'm just saying, that's pretty funny, okay? Anyway,
Anyone get the joke?
I don't get it.
and,
Like when somebody asks you to rate them.
no. The song Get Low by Lil Jon.
Oh, 3, 6, okay.
Yeah, we're not finishing the song, right? Because that's not appropriate.
Dude, I'm
Okay?
so lost.
So, hi, so lost, Mr. Cross, nice to meet you. Okay, anyway, what's our least common multiple for 3, 6, and 9? What number do they all multiply to?
3.
What number? They all go to 3?
Yeah.
6 times what is 3?
Yeah.
Okay, they all go to what? There's 6 and 6 gets 9.
What did you ask?
What can they all multiply to?
18.
18.
Gotcha.
3 times what is 18?
6.
6 times what is 18? 3. 9 times what is 18?
2.
So they all multiply to 18. That's what we call the least common multiple. It's the lowest number they all multiply to get to, okay? There's no other number that all multiply to get to that's smaller than 18. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply every part of the equation by the least common multiple. So we're going to multiply every part of the equation by this 18.
Ooh.
Okay? We're going to multiply every part of the equation by this 18. So let's go ahead and write that down. what I have right now. And we have to distribute, right? We have to distribute, okay? So here's how we're going to do this. After we distribute, we're going to write it like this. 18 times x plus 1 over 3. That's the first fraction. I wrote the first fraction there. Now I'm going to write the second fraction. Plus 18 times x over 6. Now I'm going to write the equal sign. Now we're going to do the third fraction. 1 times 18 is 18 over 9. Can you wait one moment to this equation? Yeah. Okay. So right now, I just rewrote it. I took 18 times this first fraction, 18 times the second fraction, and 18 times our third fraction there, okay? I just took 18 times those numbers. Now, hey, this first one here, before I distribute, I want to be careful, because what can I do with this 18 and 3?
You can
Divide. How many times does 3 go into 18? 6. So this would become 6 times x plus 1. And do we even have a 3 down there anymore? What number is down there now? What number is below it now? 1. So do we have to write that?
no.
No, we don't have to write that. Okay. On the second fraction, 18x divided by 6.
X equals 3.
Not x equals 3, but we have 3x. Because the 18 divided by 6 is 3. Now we have the equal sign. And what's 18 divided by 9? 2. Hey, did we get rid of all of our fractions?
Yes.
Was that handy?
Yeah.
Yeah, but now this is also.
Okay. So this is like what we did a little bit ago, right? Just a few minutes ago. This is like the same stuff now. Okay. Okay. Once again, China, I'm going to ask you to be patient for a day. As you've been so far, you've been good. Okay. And just go on and watch that video later. I think it's going to make more sense. Okay. From 2.4. So now this is like a problem we had earlier, just like on the last slide. Okay. So we have to distribute the 6, and we get 6x plus what? 6 plus 3x equals 2. Ray, what would you do now?
Add 6x
And get 9x plus 6 is equal to 2. Very good. Okay. Now that Ray combined those like terms for us, okay, Dalton, what can we do? Subtract 6 from both sides. I think that's a good math move, okay? So 9x is equal to, well, okay, 6 minus 2 is
negative
4, but it's a negative because the 6 is bigger, okay? So now, how do we get x by itself? Divide. Divide by 9. Now we're left with x is equal to, well, does this simplify it all negative 4 over 9? I agree, it does not. That's our answer. Okay, so I want to recap real quick how we started this problem. When we had fractions in everything, when we had everything having a fraction like this, our first step was to get rid of that. So we found out, hey, what's the least common multiple, the LCM, of these denominators? We said, hey, 3, 6, and 9 all multiply to 18. So we multiply both sides, every part of the equation, by that 18. So I distributed, and distributed. Then we looked to, before we actually went to 18 times x and 18 times 1, we went through and we simplified first. What do you mean? Okay. Whenever we have a setup where everything's a fraction like that, we want to do this because that's going to make our life way easier, okay? Go ahead.
Wait, what's the sign? What's 369?
It's
We're not going
to
to
the
talk about it.
window.
Yeah.
Oh!
I'm saying, like, yeah, you're gonna talk about it.
Oh my gosh,
Like
I
7th
remember
grade.
that.
I remember that.
They played that at the dance, and I started
Yes.
yelling it.
That was fun. Good time.
On the number 2, on number 2, do we have fractions for everything again? Yes. So what are we going to want to do?
Get rid of them.
Get rid of them. How?
By getting rid of them.
Oh, they can all be 18 again. No, they'd all be 6.
They could all be 18, but they could all be 6. And would you rather multiply by a bigger number or a smaller number?
Bigger.
Smaller number. Smaller numbers make our life easier, okay? Unless we're talking about bank accounts. Okay? Now, so we're going to want to multiply everything by our LCM, or at least common multiple of 6. Okay? Because that's what 2, 6, and 3 can all multiply to. We could do 18, we could do 12, we could do a lot of different numbers, but 6 is our smallest.
It would equal out the same thing.
It would end up equaling out the same thing. We just create a little more work for ourselves. Yeah, we could get it and it would equal out the
There's
same
more
thing.
steps.
It would just create more work, yeah. And personally, I want less steps. Okay? So now we're gonna distribute. So 6 times this fraction, 6 times 1, we can just call it 6 over 2. I want to clarify, the only reason I didn't do 18 times both of these was because there were two terms on the top of this fraction, okay? That's why I left that in parentheses. Here there is one term, so I multiply together, one term, multiply together, one term, multiply together. But when there were two terms here, where there's a plus or minus sign there, I left it as a plus or minus sign and kept it in parentheses. That was the only reason I did that. Continuing on, 6 times a is 6a over 6 equals 6 times 1 is 6 over 3. Questions on that step? Okay, so now we can look to reduce. Okay, what's that first fraction reduce? Press, you have a question? No, okay, here's something. What's that first fraction reduced to, Hannah? 6 over 2. 3. What about the second fraction? Dylan, you have an guess on what that reduces to? What can happen with both of these 6s? Multiply them. No? What kind of problems is a fraction? Division. What's 6 divided by 6? 1. So what are we left with then? Just 1 a. Equals? And what's that right fraction reduced to, Levi? 2. 6 divided by 3 reduces to 2. Okay, so now we only have one more step left.
That was easy.
Yeah, that's pretty easy.
Staples. That was easy. Now we subtract 3. 2 minus 3 is what number?
Negative 1.
Negative 1.
Okay.
Yeah, the first step was new for us, right? Okay. Questions on that at all?
I want the new phone.
Was that about the notes?
No.
Okay.
Mr. Costa, what kind of phone do you have?
I have the iPhone XS.
I want.
I cracked the back of my phone.
That sounds about right.
I'll open it. I come.
Thank you. Okay, hey, we got a worksheet for you guys. We got a lot of work done today. That's pretty dope, okay? And I have some don't do's for you as well.
Bad.
Yes.
It's 23 minutes.
Yes.
Bless
Bless
you,
you,
bless
bless
you,
you,
bless
bless
you,
you. Yeah, bless you, bless you, bless you. Is there 2 of them?
Then there's like 4.
How much is a new phone?
Oh, front and back.
How many pieces did you have,
Great
Presley?
question.
Bless you, must ring down. Bless you.
How much is a new phone? Like 700?
This is gonna be
Ooh.
fun.
700?
They're expensive.
I don't think
Okay,
Like 1,000?
What?
one of the.
here's our don't do's.
Uh,
So pay attention to these so we can cross them out. 9 through 16. 19 through 20. 23. 26. And 29.
wait.
All of those are don't do's. You can cross each one of those out. 9 through 16. So the entire right side of the front. 19 and 20. 23. 26. And 29.
That's awkward.
Okay. Okay, during this time, you guys can listen to music, okay? I want you guys to get some good work done on this, okay? Some of you might even be able to get finished with this in this time, okay? Which is awesome to be able to do, right? To not have homework, okay? And hey, as you're working here, you guys can ask me questions if you're confused, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's a really nice benefit, yes, Maddox. Oh, perfect.
Oh, I was gonna tell you something.
Okay,
Well, it's not clever, but
Okay.
it's.
okay. So what's 2x plus 4x? So is this positive? That's how we use it. That make more sense? That makes question. genius. Bingo.